What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Lore Reloaded channel. I am Lore Reloaded, your gracious host. Glad to have everybody here. This is going to be kind of a different change in what we generally do. I'm going to have a call-in option. I'm going to have a call-in option where you guys can come and be a part of it. If you're interested, the Discord link is down below. We'll get into that in a couple of minutes. For those who are watching video on demand, don't forget to check me out at twitter.com/lore reloaded. I talk about a ton of things, from politics to Trek to sci-fi. If you have any questions, ask me there. I will try to respond. And as you know, I say hi to a couple people before we get this party started. We got Sharon Moore in the house. We got Parek, Nathan, what is going on? Dennis Barnes, Commander Shepard already agrees with me. We're halfway there. Oberth Abuser reporting in. You can't abuse an Oberth. It's its natural state. That is just simply not possible. Simply not possible. Hey, if you guys disagree with me, check in the description. You will find a link to the Discord. Let me know that you're here for the Discord discussion. I'll try to get it set up. I don't know how well this is going to work, so we're just going to have to go from there. But let's set the stage for the moment and get an understanding or get a agreement on what occurred. My name is pronounced Poor Rick. Okay, Poor Rick. I like Park better. Okay, so is Sisko a war criminal? I say he is, and to copy off of someone who has become a meme with his series, I want you to change my mind. If you haven't seen Steve Crowder's Change My Mind, that's where the meme comes from. All right, so here's what occurred. This is from Memory Alpha, which I happen to agree with, and let's just take a look at it. To set the stage behind, or before, Eddington has become a Maquis. He's betrayed the Federation, and now he's going around poisoning Cardassian planets, making it poisonous for Cardassians, but not for humans. Okay? And so Sisko has went out to go get him. Of course, he was ordered not to. Someone else was supposed to take care of it. They failed, so now it's up to Sisko. So Sisko, after failing to capture him once after destroying a raider, which arguably I don't think Sisko, had to destroy the raider. I think he could have disabled it. He decided to destroy it. Arguably, that's kind of ambiguous, but we'll give it to you. We'll say that the destruction of the raider, because it just poisoned a planet, is all right. That we're not going to argue that. I'm going to give you that one. Now, Act 5, they're towing the transport. Sisko is deep in thought. And Sisko realizes that Eddington sees himself as Valjean, the hero of Les Miserables, and that Eddington's self-perceived heroism could be used against him. In Sisko's words, I think it's time for me to become the villain. So, Sisko admits what he is about to do is villainous. Not wrong, not horrible, not morally ambiguous. Villainous. Now, he then proceeds with the same strategy the Maquis had been using. He prepares to launch a biogenic weapon comprised of trilithium resin at a Maquis settlement. This is a Maquis settlement. This is not a military base. This is not a nothing but soldiers. This is a Maquis settlement. It's a reversal of Eddington's weapon. The resin bomb would poison the atmosphere with a toxin that is deadly to humans, but harmless to Cardassians. He broadcasts a message revealing his intentions, and Eddington dismisses it because this isn't what Starfleet does. Then, Sisko then orders the weapons fired. Worf initially hesitates, and he and the rest of the bridge crew are shocked. And they are. Look at their reactions. They're shocked that they're being told to use a biogenic weapon. They then become war criminals themselves and do it. He follows through with his threat. He repeats his order, and Worf launches the weapon, which do their job and poison the atmosphere, with the Maquis transport scrambling to evacuate the settlement. He announces that the plans to continue his campaign against all Maquis colonies in the DMZ. So, he not only goes to poison one planet, he intends to do this So all the planets. All of them that are Maquis. Ultimately, the Maquis and the Cardassians switch homes. The Cardassians live in one place. The Maquis live in the other. So let's break that down. Let's have that discussion. Now, if you guys don't want to talk to me in the actual Discord, that's fine. This is just something I'm trying out to see what you guys think about. If you like it, you don't. That's fine. Doesn't bother me. Let me pull up the thing so I can actually see your guys' comments, though. That would help me out. What do you think? Now, so something someone just said, and I can't find it. It's only deadly to humans, and no one died, so what war crime could they charge him with? So as long as, if you use a weapon against a certain specific set of people, and it only kills a certain specific set of people, and you use it on a city, and using it on the city has a chance of it actually, hurting them. Something could happen. Ships could fail. They could die. But they don't, and everyone gets away. Then it's okay. Then it's not a war crime, is what you're saying. And if you believe that, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I'd like you to do. Take the word human and replace it with, I don't know, pick something. We'll go with Jew. And I want you to justify how attacking a city full of people of Jewish ancestry with a weapon that only hurts Jewish people is okay because they got out and not a war crime. If you could put that in the comments, I'll be happy to read that justification. There is also another one that keeps coming up, and I'm going to try to find it. If I don't, please repeat it. About General Order 24 eliminates the possibility that he is one, as they have a precedence for such events occurring. Also, as no one died or was killed, the legality gets murky, so it's only forced relocation. Okay. Well, ask the United States about forced relocation, see how well that worked out for him. But that is insane to me, to think that people would sit there and say, well, no one got hurt, so it's okay. I mean, let's let a small town in North Korea know that we're going to nuke them, and sure, they're gone, and then nuke their city. It's okay, because no one was hurt. Did he say, I'm going to poison the planet before he did it to the people on the planet? He did warn them, definitively. He absolutely did warn them. Let me see. And I'm trying to figure out how to get people here, so it'll take me a second while I figure this out and how to move people, if you're wanting to come and be a part of it. At Lore Reloaded. And what if they tried it again, but someone did die? 14K Liam. Yeah, he did this, and people got away, thank God. No one was hurt. But what if they weren't able to? What if something happened? He had no way, absolutely no way of knowing if they would be able to get away, if they'd be able to survive or not. He had no way of knowing that. Ships can fail. Things can happen. I mean, God help them if they're in a Galaxy class landed on the planet and a rock hits it. Then they have a warp core breach they got to deal with, right? So things can occur, and he was going to do this to multiple planets. Give me 1 second, guys. At Lore Reloaded. Something is only a war crime if there is some agreement that somewhere that such things are crimes. The Federation and the Cardassians may not be members of any such treaty. They, in fact, did have a peace agreement after the Cardassian border wars, in which they agreed that there were things they couldn't do. If you want to change the name of it, let's say that it isn't a war crime. What would you call it? Would you say they just get away with it? That it is no crime at all? Sorry, also working with Discord. It's going as well as I thought it would. What's going on, Admiral Saval? If it's a war crime here in the 21st century, it's pretty safe to bet that it's a war crime in the Federation. I would almost say that it's worse in the Federation, especially after the TNG era. After the TNG era, I would say. I sincerely think that it is one of the worst things that they could have done. And I think it is on par, in my opinion, with my opinion of what Janeway did. All right. Let's see. This is the Federation. We're talking about they have used forced relocation several times. There was even a movie about it. Forced relocation is different than poisoning a planet, in my opinion. You're telling me that the poisoning of a planet, making it uninhabitable for a certain species, let's do it this way, making it uninhabitable for a person of, let's say, a certain ancestry to not be there is somehow righteous or okay? As you've pointed out in other videos, there are differences between immoral and illegal. I think this is an illegal act. Can you please show me how how this is not illegal to poison a planet based... So, all right. When Eddington does it, it's a bad thing. When Eddington does it, it's bad. When Sisko does it, it's justified. They're trying to stop Eddington from doing this. Sisko does the same thing, and he's a hero. How does that make sense? He didn't even ask Starfleet for approval. No, he did not. He did not at any point. I'm still understanding. How does this work? He only poisons the planet for humans. He didn't kill all life forms, only plan to try to. Only planet or try to. All right, Extreme Gamer, you should be able to hear me. Yeah, turn off your... put on headphones if you could. Just tell me when you've put on headphones. Put it in chat for me. At Lore Reloaded, it would be morally gray area, but unless the Federation see it as illegal, then he didn't do anything wrong. Hey, brother. This should be push to talk only. Do you now have headphones on? So just so I better understand, and I'm not talking to you, Extreme, I'm just letting you so you can hear me. If it's not illegal by the country you're doing it, then it's not illegal. So my next thing that I'm going to about to bring up is Nazi Germany. So you can justify how the things done in Nazi Germany were legal because Germany didn't have it illegal. Plus we have Extreme Gamer on. What's going on, Extreme? Got to do push to talk. So if you're and so we're saying at Bird of Prey 5, I don't know, I'd call Sisko a hero. He got lucky, but Eddington would have started a war. So it's bad for Eddington to do it because he might start a war. But Sisko can do it because it prevents a war, and that's still okay. Even though he creates a biogenic weapon for a certain ancestry. Halen Frost. Sisko believed plot armor would protect the civilians. Indeed. Indeed, plot armor did protect the civilians. Old Master in the House. Old Fire Master. One of my favorites in the House. I suppose you could argue with the Jew analogy that because Sisko is also human, that's only attempted murder and therefore just a normal crime and not a war crime. If we're going to go that route, then it would be attempted mass murder. I could accept that. If he's only attacking humans, then he might be guilty of attempted mass murder on a global scale. Sisko used chemical weapons. Eddington used a bioweapon. Not true, Tentacle Pentacle. Not true, my good friend. He used biogenic weapons. He used the exact same type of weapon. It was only geared towards humans and not Cardassians. Same exact thing, just opposite spectrum. Ben, Mike, and the Cardassians were all villains in this. Who was the lesser of three evils? Well, I mean, if we go by that justification, then anything is acceptable, right? Extreme Gamer, I'm going to give you a couple more minutes, then we're going to switch you out for Cyborg. Halen Frost coming back with history is written by the victors. All right, give me a quick second, guys. Extreme, try to say something. Shouldn't have to have a key binding now. Well, I shouldn't have to either. Shows you're muted for some reason. Give me a second, guys. Extreme. All right, going back to what we were saying. Plenty of people break conventional law in war times, and as they were in such desperate times, Sisko shouldn't be tried as a war criminal, but it could be counted either way. They weren't in a war. Extreme, try saying something now. Extreme, try saying something now. I see it popping up. I don't see you talking, though. Or I don't hear you. I can barely hear something. All right. Extreme, for a second, let's just try this. Go back into reloaded waiting. Cyborg, if you can come in. I'm going to have to work on that offline. My great-grandfather fought with the Italian Partisanos in World War II against Mussolini. I just can't stand the thought of chemical weapons with what it did to those people. My family fled the country. Well, I'm sorry that that happened. I sincerely am. Hey, Cyborg, try... Oh, hold on. Try talking now. Try talking now. Give me 1 second, guys. I apologize. Let's get this fixed while you guys are on, because it's always good to do this stuff live, right? Members must use push to talk in this channel if the permission is disallowed. Try talking now. Cyborg. Go, Cyborg, go. Thank you, Park. Poor Rick. I think it is going well as well. Writers made a mistake. If they wanted Ben to be a hero, maybe he should have stunned them with phasers like piece of the action. I could almost be okay with a weapon that only specifically stuns them. But he didn't, and that's the problem. He didn't do that. I seriously have yet to hear a justification. Other people have said, well, Data did this, or Janeway did this, or Sisko did that. Even if we assume that was allowable, that they did do this horrific thing, doesn't justify any of it. Yeah, we're going to try with Cyborg. If it doesn't work, I guess that will be just the failed experiment of the day for us. Didn't the Nazis use biological weapons against the Italians when they changed sides? I honestly don't know. At Lore Reloaded, Fleet Security should have investigated fully, but they didn't. He committed a crime against humanity, but not a war crime, and he is in the military. It's up to the military to judge that. I would be okay with that. I would accept that. But they didn't. And there are a lot of people who try to justify it. And that's what concerns me. That's what I don't like. The hero can't do the same thing as the villain, especially when the hero admits he's being a villain, and it be okay, because he admits fully. Another thing that really gets me is that how they laugh it off at the end. When she asks, how did Starfleet agree to that? And he's like, oh, I forgot. And then it's just a laugh at the end. How do you even go about doing that? How is that okay? And there are people who will go to the end, who will do everything they can to see if it works. And we're trying test 2. I haven't done anything to this one, so I don't know why it wouldn't work. It was on a special about bioweapons in World War II. Hitler hated them, but would use them. Well, Hitler was a bad guy. Was this an excuse to darken Trek, make our heroes more shadowy? I sincerely believe that that is part of it. I really do. I think that some of it can be blamed on a wanting not to be the next generation. And that was something that we could see occur throughout. Especially, again, with the destruction of the Enterprise, in A Pale Moonlight. The earlier episodes, they would break the Prime Directive in a way that TNG specifically didn't break the Prime Directive. Maybe it's an Easter egg and it was Mirror Sisko that came back. Maybe it was a mirror egg. It was a Mirror Sisko and Easter egg. It's okay because no one died and balance is restored. If someone did die because of it, Starfleet would have come down on Sisko. That is ridiculous. I don't want to be a part of a military that goes on it's okay simply because someone was all right. I don't at any point want to be a part of that. And I don't know many people that actually would. Yeah, I thought the episode handled things well until there were no consequences for Sisko. Throw mud on our heroes. Throw mud on our heroes? I don't even know what that means. I don't know, guys. The Discord isn't working out as well as I had hoped, so we may not be able to go through that route. I will do a private test with people. So if you want to join my Discord, join it below. And after this, I will probably do some testing with it to see if I can get it working. Tell me if you can hear me, McDice. What would your strategy be to catch Eddington? You know, I honestly don't know how I would catch Eddington. I don't know what he could have done. Maybe trying to use a weapon that would knock people out. I don't know the answer to the question. That doesn't mean what Sisko did is okay. That does not at any point justify what Sisko did. It's indefensible, the same as General Order 24. He broke the law, violated the Hague Council on Chemical Bioweapons that the UE government, United Earth government, should have upheld. At the very least, he should have been tried. Sisko is the chosen one. He can do no wrong. That is true. What's going on, Mackley? Let's see. Yeah, everybody that joins. Extreme Gamer, try talking. Extreme Gamer, try talking. Yeah, it pops on, but I don't hear anything coming out. You're the only one that can. Everybody else is muted for some reason. That's so weird. We're just going to have to work on it. What's going on, Mackley? Boofire191 in the house. Saying a joke. Not sure what that's about. Probably joked. This federation allowed the genocide of the founders. You know, here's an interesting piece to it. By the way, guys, if you're in here, you can keep trying. If someone talks and we figure it out, great. If not, we're just going to test it on the back end. In a Pale Moonlight seems more justifiable to me. I would still... Yeah. Hey, McDyes, we can hear you, but now you got your... Put on headphones if you could for me. All right. So, I think we got McDyes a lot. What's going on, sir? Or not. What was I talking about? Man, you guys get me off topic so fast. I can, in fact, hear you now. It was the headphones? Okay. Well, that's weird. So what's going on, guys? So we got McDyes along, Extreme Gamer. I'm trying to do a more format where people can call in for those who are just joining. So what are your thoughts on it, guys? Do you think it was justified, not justified? Generally, it's going to be one person in here talking with me, but since we're still trying to get this thing working, we're just going to keep it with the 12 people here, since no one else can talk anyway. So Extreme Gamer, talk to me. Do you think it was justified? Okay, and before you spawn, make sure that I've stopped talking because there is still a bit of an echo. If you can't use your headphones, that's fine. Just make sure I've completely stopped talking on your end. So let me ask you this. Would you agree that the use of biogenic weapons, even if only faced at one person or one person of a certain ancestry, only for humans, is still morally wrong and probably illegal? Or I would say completely illegal. Would you believe it's morally wrong and illegal?
Overall, but it was definitely a moral,
moral
issue that Sisko and Starfleet had to deal with, definitely, and I feel he should have been definitely some look at it. Starfleet should have been referenced an episode where he went to talk with a hearing or something with Starfleet about the use of it and how he tried to explain it to them or something, and even if he got away with it and he convinced them, but it was definitely morally wrong about just targeting one specific humans or Cardassians, or as your Jews, as your World War II reference there. But the fact that it was already done to the Cardassians and Maquis was already using it, it was an eye for an eye tactic, which Starfleet never does, but Sisko did this time, which is morally wrong, an eye for an eye tactic, but the situation I felt did kind of call for it, and it was the only way he could have won that situation.
So as long as it's justifiable and it's the only way, it's okay. Is there any specific action you think you could go too far where that doesn't apply?
When you are going, if you are doing more stuff, if Sisko did go ahead and did his threat to go around DMZ and just bombing every planet with this poison in the atmosphere, then he definitely would have been way too far, and Starfleet would have cracked down on him immediately, probably sent a starship or two to chase him to find in the DMZ to stop him straight outright, just disable to capture him. But also, so that would definitely be wrong and way worse, and made escalate the situation to the point where it would have been war, or full-out war between the Maquis and Federation, which the Maquis would be completely devastated. They wouldn't probably do it very well, but they would be more so attacking the Federation because in their eyes, the Federation did this to all their colonies.
All right. Let me address one question that was in the comments. Would Sisko's action work better in a different sci-fi franchise? It would have worked. It doesn't have to be a different franchise, but definitively not Starfleet. Cardassian, Romulan, even Klingon, I would have more of a better understanding than Starfleet. Let me ask you this, Extreme Gamer. And I'm going to have spoilers for a second, so for anybody who cares about Star Trek Discovery. But do you think it was justified when they were about to nuke Kronos to defeat the Klingons? That would have resulted in billions, if not trillions, if not quadrillions of deaths.
I think it was justified to nuke Kronos and make all the volcanoes go haywire and destroy the planet. No, I do not think. I think the original plan where they would use it and get all their starships around Kronos and take out military targets and cripple Kronos' defense and just hold it hostage, I feel that would have been a better way of doing it. And I feel it's a cop-out the way they did and they finished it. But no, whatever Starfleet was put to a limit and they were just doing anything they possibly could to survive. And this Mirror Universe, Georgiou, just manipulated them into doing what she wanted, I feel. And it was just her game that she wanted to play with the Klingons and do it again, effectively.
So it's not okay to kill everyone on Kronos, especially when the Starfleet and the United Federation of Planets is going to be destroyed. That's going to happen unless they do something. That's not okay, but it is okay to do it to the Maquis, because that would stop a war with the Cardassians that would be little more than another Cardassian border war. The only difference I see in the two is the ancestry of the humans and the fact that the planet can be used by other species after that. So can you help me understand how genociding or attempting to genocide one race is okay, but not attempting to genocide another race? And remember, in Discovery, if you watched it, the Klingons would have the ability to try to get away. But I'll even admit that there would be casualties for sure on Kronos. I'll give you that. I still don't think it's enough, but I'll give you that there still would be casualties on Kronos. But even given that, you still think one is okay and one is not.
The reason I find that the bombing of Kronos is way worse would be the fact that Sisko beforehand gave it, but I can't remember, it was a definitely at least 12 hours or so warning, and don't quote me about it, to the Maquis to evacuate the planet, that he's going to do it. And that, first of all, makes it better. Second of all, it was one planet, and it wasn't the home planet of an entire species. They colonized the planet. And they're effectively a rogue nation at this point because they are Federation citizens. They're meant to go to the Cardassians. They didn't want to move back to the Federation, so they made a rogue state effectively. And so they weren't. That actually doesn't involve. I don't even want to mention that, but so yeah. But in the Chrono situation, there was no warning. There was no way. There was way. Also in the Maquis planet, there was time for everyone to get away. Everyone to get away. The Chronos, its entire planet, billions of people, rather than, but what would have been like a couple of thousand, maybe only on a settlement, and the death toll would have been catastrophic on Chronos. But as we saw, there was no one even not even hurt in the Maquis planet.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going to move you back and bring someone else in. Thanks for testing this out with me, man. You're welcome. Come in anytime, of course. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Good to do it.
Oh, do you have a YouTube channel? Give a shout out real quick.
No, I don't.
Fair enough. All right, I'm going to move you back. All right, got to do a little dance because we have someone here who who gave a super chat. Guys, super chats are how I grow, how I start to do stuff like this. With super chats, I can actually do this and do it right when I hire technical people. Fancy Teeth says, forgot to add the message. I may start a religion based on this stream. Religions have been started for less. So there you go. Tentacle Pentacle says, it's not genocide when it's not lethal. The Trilith, it was lethal. He was using something that would kill humans. Absolutely. Go watch the show again. He was. The biogenic weapons weren't directly deadly. They were. They were deadly to humans. Just because you give someone time to escape doesn't mean that it's still not deadly to them. If I was to walk into anywhere with a gun and point it at someone and say, run away and I won't kill you, I've still committed a crime. Let me try pulling someone else in. Viper, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sweet. I think I've gotten this thing down. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, you?
Doing well, doing well. So, do you agree or disagree with me on this entire thing?
I'm not sure, to be honest, because it wasn't exactly... Wait, I am right. This is like where you use the biogenic weapon or something, right?
Right. So
Yes.
it was a biogenic weapon that he was using that would kill humans but not Cardassians, which is the exact opposite of what Editing was doing. He was using weapons that would kill Cardassians but not humans.
To be honest, I'm not sure, because like I feel like it's not right, but then, of course, I love Sisko as a character, so it'd be kind of... Well, it's a really hard one, because he wasn't meant to be doing what he was doing, but somehow it almost seems justified. I'm not sure.
Okay, so it's okay when the bad guy does it, but not when the good... Or it's okay when the good guy does it, but not when the bad guy does it, because it's a response. So you're just on the fence with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say... It's probably just me being kind of biased towards the good guys there, because it just seems like they do it for the right reason. If you know what I mean?
So there is a right reason to using a biogenic weapon against a certain heritage of people. You see where I'm coming? Occasionally? Okay. Can you think of any time in the real world that was justified, to use a biogenic weapon against a certain type of people? It doesn't have to be a chemical weapon, whatever. I mean, bring it into the real world. If you can't, that's fine. I'm just asking if you could think of a real world example. And that's putting you on the spot. So if you can't, that doesn't make me right by any stretch. I'm just curious in your mind.
Yeah, I don't think I could think of one. Maybe like America and Japan in World War II, because Japan was just mental and wouldn't ever stop. So maybe then, because it'd be kind of stopping future battles, if that makes sense.
Okay, that's not a bad idea to say that let's do something if it'll stop future death and destruction. And I think that is a good argument for what happened in World War II. Let me ask this. Starfleet is a different type of beast, though. Starfleet is not the U.S. Army or any military that's ever existed. Do you think that this was inconsistent writing for Starfleet to be okay with this? If not, can you tell me why you think that? Can you give me an example in Shrek?
I think it was extraordinarily inconsistent, especially with maybe... Well, the Next Generation basically had the entire thing being, if you don't follow the Prime Directive, you get bollocked for it. So it's kind of... It really should have been followed up, and I think you've actually changed my mind on this. I think I agree with you. I think Sisko is a war criminal.
Well, I'm beginning to agree that maybe war criminal was a little too harsh, but I do think that he was definitely attempted to mass murder people. And my huge issue is that there's just so much that could go wrong. Ship impulse engines can break down. Again, if you hit a Galaxy class with a rock, it starts a warp core breach. So much stuff could have went wrong with that, right? All right, man. Do you have any shout out for a channel or anything? I think I'm going to try bring in one more person.
No, I don't have a shout out for a channel. Just like saying, I'm Luke Bad Millionaire. Just saying that. Anyway, thanks for taking me on it. It was pretty good, yeah.
Thanks, brother. Once we get this down, you're welcome anytime.
Okay, sure. I'm just never around when you do live streams. So,
that's why I'm doing morning stuff. I'll talk to you later, man.
See ya.
All right, let's take a look at the comments before we bring someone else in. In the comments, let me know what you think about this. Now that I got it working and people can talk and you can actually hear them, do you like this as a call-in show kind of deal or not? If you don't like it, that's fine. Just let me know. Let's see. Wanting to exterminate entire species seems very similar to Hitler's final solution of wiping out entire races. That's kind of why I'm using I'll be honest, I'm being a little dishonest in the way I'm using the naming conventions, people of a certain ancestry. I don't think Sisko's Hitler or anything like that. He wasn't trying to kill anyone. He was just doing actions that could result in a lot of deaths. Knowingly. as should everyone in his chain of command, his sector command, his fleet commander, and the head of Starfleet operations for not punishing him for violating Starfleet regulations. Of that, I would agree. So what would you want to be done to Sisko? How should he be punished? I would want... That's a good question. And then, Zod, I'm going to bring you in, so get prepped, buddy. I would want one of two things. Honestly, I think he should be put in jail. I think that he should not see the light of day for decades. That's my opinion on that. But I could see Starfleet making it kind of like what happened with Worf, where Worf saved one person at the expense of thousands to maybe even hundreds of thousands, and it was likely he would never get to be in command. So I could see Sisko losing command, but staying in Starfleet. I don't agree with that. Tentacle Pentacle, I wish you would come on, buddy. The risk of death was small. Even if ships broke down, people can still hide in the ships because the ships are sealed against the atmosphere. I want you to say that out loud, even though I just said it to you, and then tell me you still agree with that. Is Sisko in jail? The Romulans never enter the war and the Federation dies. Well, I mean, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, we can say, look, if this person didn't get the justice they deserved, then the future would have came out worse. That's okay. You can say that. It doesn't justify it. It at no point justifies what they did. Corey 2000 says, I can see Section 31 and or the Bajorans influencing punishments. I mean, that could be true. Section 31 could have stepped in. That might be an example. Zod, I just pulled you in. It looks like you turned off your speakerphone or your microphone, so you're going to have to undo that, unless Zod doesn't want in at this point. Starfleet security dropped the ball. The Federation dropped the ball and gave the Dominion and Cardassians propaganda, the likes of which Hitler could only dream. So let's take it this way. Let's go this way. Tentacle Pentacle. It's not instant death. All right. I'm going to give you that, even though I don't think that's true. Using a biogenic weapon that won't kill someone instantly and allow them to get away still leaves the chance that they won't be able to get away and will die. So using a weapon against a person that has a possibility of killing them, and I would say a moderate possibility of killing them, is still, in my opinion, a crime. I would really appreciate it if you could explain to me how I'm wrong on this. Kill members of your own species to favor an alien totalitarian state. Nice job. I'd agree. 10 out of 10. Definitely subscribe to Sisko's channel on that one. Alright guys, so this was a moderate success, I would say. Something that I'm trying out. It really hyped that a lot of people from across the planet were able to come in. Let's see. Zod, gonna try you one more time. Do you want in, buddy, or not? Guess not. And Old Firemaster, who is having issues with his microphone. We'll see if he gets it. Old Firemaster, you want in? Let me know. Wise Ant says, it reset the balance. They destroyed one planet. He did another, so they just had to change the planets. All right. I mean, if that's justifiable, hey, you know what? What we're going to do, we are going to use a biogenic weapon in Israel that only affects those of Jewish ancestry. And then we're going to use a biogenic weapon in Florida that only impacts people of American ancestry, though this one's a little flawed. And we're going to have those two groups change. And it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay because we just resettled people. That's it. We just resettled people. Completely justifiable.
Can you hear me?
I can actually hear you now, Old Firemaster. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. How about you?
Doing well, doing well. Trying to figure out this whole thing. Let me know what you think about it. Old Firemaster, you've been with the channel before it was 10,000, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been here a while. I've enjoyed watching you grow. I love Star Trek, and seeing someone like you that loves it as much as I do is really great.
Yeah, I'm glad to have fans like yourself. What's up, man? So, do you disagree with me on this, or what's your take on it?
No, I totally think you're right. Yeah, I mean the example of trying to bomb Israel and swap out populations is absolutely accurate. I don't think anybody would suggest that that's justified in any way.
So let me ask you this, because I think a fair point that has come up has been, how would you fix it? Now, it doesn't make it right, by the way. And by the way, some people love your voice. They think you're awesome. You should do voiceovers. I'm going to agree with them. But let me ask you this. Do you have any way of stopping Eddington? Now, even if you didn't, I don't think it justifies what Sisko did, but could you see another way of taking out Eddington?
Yeah. We know that Starfleet has wide beam phasers that are ship mounted, that just simply stun populations on the ground. And there's no reason to believe that Sisko wouldn't have had those available. So the fact that he didn't simply choose to stun the entire population and take Eddington from there is kind of ridiculous. You know, if you have a non-lethal option, why not use it?
Right, and you're talking about from the old. I always say that makes Anti-Checker really mad. The original series when they used that, which was crazy. Yeah, I guess I could see that and just threaten to continue to do it and do forced relocation that way. That you're going to bring in other ships and things of that nature until he stopped.
That would be the idea. Yeah.
Even if the Defiant couldn't, some could make the argument that the Defiant as a ship of war wouldn't have that type of stun technology. It wouldn't be too hard to get another ship that would, and to get them there, I think. You'd have to find a way to buy time. I don't hate that idea.
Yeah, I think that's probably the one more reasonable idea that fits within Trek canon, because it's not as though these are special weapons. You know, this is just a simple modification of existing phaser technology as the original series would have it. So, I mean, even assuming that the Defiant for some reason did not have that ability, surely there was another ship that was within a couple days' reach that could get there in time.
Right. Real quick, by the way, guys, let's not. My examples are really just to show the extreme. Let's not talk about what groups of people we like or don't like. I will instantly ban you for that. I don't hate that idea. I hate the idea of a stun phaser that a ship has, if I'm honest. But it is technology that exists in the Trek universe, so they definitely should use. I like that. See, Oldfire, you need to do this. You need to be running this channel, not me.
I do not think I could successfully pull off running this channel.
Do you have a channel? Got one for a shout out?
I do not. No, this is just a channel I use for watching YouTube.
Nice. I'm serious, man. I'm gonna be talking to you at some other point. I might get you to help me with some voiceovers. You remind me of the Epic Voice guy. Have you ever heard of him?
I have, and I do not think that I compare to him. But thank you.
All right. Thanks, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. Thank you. Talk to you later.
All right. So, and that addresses that. If you're talking to __, he's been put in timeout because we're not going to go down that road. Already done below average, 435, I did it for you, buddy. I need to get some people who will moderate for me. All right, so that's going to be about the end of that. What do you guys think? What are your opinions on stuff? Do you have anything else, anything I haven't addressed that you thought of? I appreciate you guys being here and letting me test this out. I think I'm going to start doing this on at least 2 shows. I'm going to have some shows where it's just me, but I think we'll have more and more of these shows. No, Eddington was on the planet. No, Eddington was not on the planet. He was on a ship at the time. Targeted attack was to draw him out so Sisko could get him to the Defiant. Was not at full spec, so he couldn't catch him. Yeah, he wasn't on the planet. He was in a raider. Theory. Sisko was a member of Section 31 the entire time. You know, that would make more sense. I don't know how I would have felt about that. If at the end they tie it all together, all these things he's done wrong, you find out that he had been working with Section 31. A lot of people would have got upset about that. It would have made sense, but a lot of people would have gotten upset about it. Renee, what if it were a bluff? If it were a bluff and it failed, which it would have, at that point he would have had nothing to go on. He would have known. He would have proved to Eddington that he would not go as far as it would have took to get Eddington. And he would have had to hype it up. At Lore, Section 31 Sleeper. Yeah, I mean, Sisko as a Section 31 Sleeper agent would have been massively interesting to me. A lot of people would have not liked it, but I think it would have been very, very fun. Sisko was a prophet and a member of Section 31 and a Starfleet captain all at the same time. Yeah, he was a busy guy. All right, guys, I guess that's where we're going to end it. Thank you so much for trying this out, for coming on and talking. I really appreciate this. And, you know, let me know what you think about when it comes to this, having people on. I think I'm going to do it for Lore in the Morn and Geek Breakdown, which I probably will do Geek Breakdown tonight, hopefully, and which we'll try it again where it may... where we may have it a little bit better locked down. Let me know in the comments. Winner of the Galaxy class will be announced today. I'm about to do it after this show, in fact. I'm going to test this out a little bit. Guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to see you on the next Lore Reloaded.